This time on Low Boost, I legitimately throw the seats from my E36 in my dad's Ford F100 pickup truck, and we also put some holes in it as well. So we're running into some snags here we're trying to work around. Because this is a custom firewall, this is recessed back 4 inches to fit the engine with the Crown Vic front suspension. We might have been able to get away with getting some different engine mounts forward, but this is what we're working with. So because that sits further back, the AC unit is supposed to mount under here, but it hits there. The AC unit's not gonna fit. If we wanna run AC, we gotta figure out something else. So they're trying to figure out maybe we can put it here and build a custom console around it. But the bench seat, although it looks great, kinda gets in the way. And sitting in the truck, it's not the most comfortable driving position unless we could figure out a way to raise the steering wheel up. This is with the tilt up all the way. With it down, with the tilt down, it's there. Like, it is on you. So we would like to preferably have it in an easier driving position. So we're gonna test fit another seat, like a bench seat in here, and we'll see how it looks. Sit in it and you tell me. E36 BMW seat. How's that feel?
I like it. I like it.
Nana?
You're taping, so.
Nana?
Yeah?
You don't like it? What? Why not? Well, all that matters is how does that feel for you?
I like it. Feels good.
All right, they wouldn't need to be these seats, but bucket seats would be cool. But ultimately, we're gonna try one last ditch effort to make the bench seat work. Both my mom and my dad really love the bench seat, so let's try a couple different things to see if we can get this to go. We moved the steering wheel up further, like closer to me here. Now that geometry is much better. With the bench back in, I put the heater box, it's here. It would take some finagling, but I think I might be able to make that work and run a console across here. All right, so we are in the process of test fitting everything. We threw the carpet in just to kind of see what we're working with. So what I decided to do was mounted it with brackets here, right? And I already have some of the AC hoses run there. You see here, I made some brackets just to kind of hold them in place. I bent them. If they seem to hold the unit in pretty well, not really moving. So, but if I have to, I can make stronger pieces of steel for it. But that holds it in there, and then I just have enough space here to run the ducting. The only thing is, we're gonna have to make a console here so all the ducting can run up and through everything here and the defoggers. And that'll give us an opportunity to put some cup holders here, maybe some switches, a cigarette lighter, a bunch of stuff here. We already have a lot of wires here, so it'll make it easier to tuck everything there. The only thing we'll have to run next is the heat and AC lines. Instead of coming through here, which I originally was gonna do, I'm gonna run it underneath the car and then come up. And we're gonna do that next. But for now, we have to order more of these hoses because the one hose reaches. I'll show you. This one hose does reach all the way over here where it has to go, but the other two don't. So we have to literally buy more hoses. So, but that's how it looks right now. Pretty dope. Just so you guys know, this whole process took weeks because it's all custom. We had to make sure we fit the gas pedal in the car. We had to take everything out to get it all prepped. We used some cardboard to figure out where we want to actually have the console and kind of what it'll look like. All this stuff took weeks and weeks. Once we had all of that in, we had to take everything back out again. And then it was time to drill some holes. I think I got it. So initially, I was thinking of just coming up through the floor here to hook up to these hoses, but measuring it out underneath, it would hit the frame rail here, and then to come over here to a spot where it actually would work, it's right near the drive shaft. So we decided not to do that and keep this out. This will also make it easier to take the seat in and out if we want to. So we are gonna run the hoses down and through here and up and over. And I just drilled these 4 holes with the grommets there. And then I'm gonna silicone them so they don't come through. So we have our two, these are feed and return for AC, and then these are our heater hoses for the heat. And then they're gonna come in and come up into there and over across the whole dash here. And then they're gonna feed right down. And when we make the console, the heater hoses, the wires, and all the ducting will be tucked in here. And I think that's the best way to do it. So after those hoses come out down there, I'm gonna run it along the top of the firewall here. Then we have a bulkhead we're gonna put right here to attach our hoses going into the evaporator and condenser that you can see tucked in there. And that should round out our plumbing for that. And then also our heater hoses. They're gonna come right out. Heater hoses go right into there. And that's it for AC and heat. Once we do that, we should be able to finish the interior. I wanted to get that done before we did anything else in the interior. Next, we're gonna work on the brake pedal and adjusting the steering column again. After that, we went ahead and took everything out again to prep the surface, clean it all up to put the Dynamat down. You want to make sure you have as clean of a surface as possible, so when you put the Dynamat down, it actually will adhere to the floor. We do have the floor completely Raptor lined, as well as the whole undercarriage of the car, but doing a Dynamat is just going to help with insulation and sound deadening inside the truck cab itself. With all of this stuff in the truck cab itself, it's still probably going to be loud, but this will definitely help it out a lot. So this is the finished product of what it looks like with the Dynamat in. Now we're gonna go ahead and start to put everything else back into the cab, including the carpet, and fit everything in permanently. Here's the pedal in. That's there. We still gotta do the brake pedal. That's coming, but that's the low car throttle pedal. Looks pretty good. Next, we had to run the air conditioning lines and the heater hose lines. So we went and got a actual crimper to do this ourselves because it's a lot of crimps that we have to do. I'll put a link in the description to this crimper if you're looking to do this yourself, either with a vintage air kit or any other type of kit. This is what it looks like with the heater and AC box fully installed. We didn't want to take these lines somewhere else to get put in because you wouldn't be able to fit it into the car. But there it is going up and over, and now down through the side of the fender well. All that's going to be tucked away. You're not going to see any of this. So as we make our way to the front fender, all those hoses are now underneath that fender that you see there and coming out of our new bulkhead into our condenser and our air compressor, as well as the heater hose lines as well. As you can see under here, this is where it's coming from. I'm probably going to wrap those hoses up so they're even further protected from the elements, but it's not like my dad's ever going to drive this thing in the rain. So now that it comes all out, up and over, it looks pretty good there. That's as nice as we could make it look. Everything's going to fit under the hood right, and now it's coming all the way out through, and that's what that looks like. The whole AC unit is under the seat, and with that mocked up and all of our ducting, it will fit in there. We're just going to build a console to go in between the two, and that looks freaking cool. Custom work is not easy, and we still have a long way to go with building the console and finishing the wiring on the inside, but the interior is how it's going to look, and I think it looks great. It's going to look fantastic once the console's in. I'm really happy the way that this came out, and I think it's just going to fit perfect. We still have a long way to go with the truck, and we still have a lot of other projects that we're working on the channel, so if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure you guys do, because I have a ton of videos that are always coming out, at least 1 or 2 a week. And while you're at it, check out these videos that I already have ready to go.